My name's Jaclyn. If you haven't been to this channel before, it's my Moments with Mom, and it's a collaboration channel with my madre. Today, we're going to talk about dating, and I myself do not partake in the dating world just because, I don't know, I just feel like I really don't need to date right now. I have more important things to do, you know, school, just whatever's going on in my life, you know. And yeah, that was the same for my mom too when she was a youngin'. And today we're going to talk about a story that actually happened to my mom when she was about maybe like 20 or some years old. Woo! So yeah, anyways, here she is. Welcome to episode 1. Hi, please state your name.
My name is Jackie.
And what is the relation?
You would be my daughter, Jaclyn.
Oh, okay, good, good.
Mm-hmm.
And why are you here today?
Well, we are here to talk about dating. And I didn't really date a lot when I was young. And I had 3 horrible dates before I met Jaclyn's dad. And I am here to talk about those. But today is just episode 1. All right, you guys. So, as Jaclyn stated, I did not date either when I was Jaclyn's age. My reason was a little bit different. So, you guys, I was the biggest nerd / dork, but nerds and dorks rule in high school. Oh my gosh. I had like humongous glasses that like went down to my cheeks and came all the way up to my forehead, and super short hair, and I never wore makeup. And I never went on a date. I never got asked to any dances in high school. And, you know, looking back, maybe the guys thought I was a boy. It could be. I don't know, because one day at Knott's Berry Farm, I was getting out of the log ride, and there were these guys at that time. Oh, they still help you out, but this guy's all, hey, come on, Sonny. And I was like, hey, I'm a girl. Okay, I did not date in high school, and it was okay because I was still really happy. I had fun with my friends. We all hung out like in a big group, and you know, we were all probably pretty like nerdy, but we were good friends. And so I did not date. Probably, you guys, I went on my first date. I was probably like 20 years old. True story. Okay, so this is my first terrible date. I think I might have been 19. Okay, my friend was getting married. It's just a true story. Oh my gosh, it's so awful. All right, my friend was getting married, and I went to her wedding, stag, and in case you young folk are watching this and you don't know what that means, it's not like a deer, you know, that means I went alone. Stag, I went alone, okay? So, went alone to this date. I had on a plaid skirt, and I had on a plaid top with puffy sleeves, big puffy sleeves. Remember, this was the 80s, so I was pretty hip though, okay? With my big old glasses. My hair might have been a little longer, and probably now at this time, I might be wearing a little bit of lip gloss, okay? Go to this wedding, and I'm at the wedding alone, minding my own business, and the mother of the bride comes to me and says that the photographer thinks I'm cute and wants to like come talk to me after the wedding. And I was like, the photographer? Well, I think she worked for City Hall or something, and this guy was the photographer like they use sometimes. So I said, oh, okay, you know. So after the wedding, he came up to me and he was so nice. Now, I'm gonna change the names to protect the innocent, like on the show Dragnet, when they don't really tell you the name. So Jaclyn, think of a name.
How about Dumbo?
Okay, Dumbo. All right, there we go. All right, so Dumbo comes to talk to me, and he was really nice. He was kind of skinny guy, kind of had long hair, feathered back, and you know, that was a style back then. He had like a little mustache, and you know, he was pretty cute. And he was very, very sweet. And I was like, oh man, this guy's a nice guy, you know? And I was like, finally, like somebody, you know, like a guy came to talk to me. And then he asked me out. He said, oh, if you're not doing anything right now, as soon as I pack up my stuff, you want to go get some, you know, for some pie and coffee? And I was like, oh my gosh, my first real date. Oh, I was so excited. So I was like, sure thing. So I didn't even have a cell phone back then, you know. I couldn't call my mom and say, hey mom, I'm going on a date. So I just did. I just left with this guy. Thinking back now, he could have murdered me or something and threw me in a bush. But
in a bush.
Hey guys, so we go for pie and coffee, and he was the nicest guy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We had such a good time, and we laughed, and we sat there, we had our pie and coffee. And he was telling me all about himself, and he was asking me questions, and it was perfect, right? He was asking me all these things about myself, and I was like, oh, look, he's interested in me, and blah, blah, blah. So we left after we had our pie and coffee, and we walked to our cars, because I drove separate. It's a smart idea, girls. Don't ever go on a first date and get in a car with the guy you don't know. Okay? So we drove separately. He walked me to my car, and he said, can I give you a hug, Jackie? And I was like, oh my gosh, how sweet. And I was like, okay. If he said a kiss, I would have been like, no. But he asked for a hug, and I was like, okay. So we hugged, right? And then I left. Oh, he said he would call me. Okay, so I was like, okay, well, we'll see if he calls me, right? All right, kids. And now, maybe adults are watching this too, but for you kids out there, second tip. So I just left there, right? So he didn't know where I lived yet. So never let anybody know where you live, okay? And boys, that goes for you too. It could be a weird girl, right? She could be like a stalker or something. So never let them know where you live right at first, okay? So he said he'd call me. So probably 2 days later, the phone rings. My mom's like, hey, Jackie, Dumbo's on the phone. And I'm like, okay. So I pick up the phone, and you guys, okay, I'm gonna talk just like he talked. This was not the same voice that came out of the person that I was sitting there having coffee and pie with. No lie, this is what he said. This is what he sounded like. Okay? I say, hello, and he's like, hey, Jackie. And I'm like, yeah? And he's like, it's Dumbo. And I'm like, oh, hey, Dumbo, how you doing? And he's like, I'm fine. Want to know what I'm doing right now? And I feel like I have to make the face because that's how he sounded like he was talking. And I was like, why is he talking so funny? And I was almost afraid to ask what he was doing because he said it so weird. But seriously, he goes, you want to know what I'm doing right now? And I'm okay. And he's all, I'm in my jacuzzi drinking a bottle of Manischewitz wine. No lie, you guys, I'm not kidding. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm drinking a bottle of Manischewitz wine. You want to come over and go in my jacuzzi? Oh my God, you guys. I was so grossed out. First of all, okay, what happened to the nice guy that I was talking to who had a normal voice? This was so strange. I felt like I called one of those 1-800 numbers, those nasty numbers, and I was talking to somebody on the phone. And I was like, no, I don't want to come over and go in the jacuzzi. He's all, why not? Are you scared? And I was like, oh my God, I could not believe it, you guys. I was so disappointed and sad. Finally, after 19 years, I finally get asked on a date. And that's what happened. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he went on and on about his bottle of Manischewitz wine. And so now, if I go to the supermarket, and I go down the aisle where they have the Jewish foods, I can't look at a bottle of Manischewitz wine the same anymore because of this conversation.
Not that you drink anyway.
Not that I drink Manischewitz wine, but I do buy Manischewitz matzo crackers. It was so sad, you guys. I could not believe it. My very first date, and that's what happened. It was horrible. It was so sad. And so he went on and on about his bottle of Manischewitz wine and how he was in his jacuzzi doing goodness knows what. And I just said, you know what? I'm not coming over, and I don't want any Manischewitz wine. And that, you guys, is the story of my first terrible date. Very sad. I was very disappointed when I hung up. I mean, I was 50-50, I was thinking when I left him at the pie place, I was like, oh, maybe this guy's going to be a really nice guy, it could turn into a second date. I never saw him again. And I guess I was kind of mean, because I was pretty disgusted. So I'm sure my voice to him sounded really disgusted. So he never called me back again, ever. And that's my story. My next story shall be episode 2. But remember, nerds rule, kids. If you feel like you're a nerd or a dork, it's okay, because you know what? You don't have to be cool, right? You got the cool kids and you got the nerdy kids. And I was one of the nerdy kids, but I was super happy. And I was like Jaclyn. I was like, I had better things to do. I didn't have to worry about dating. And for all you teenagers out there, you know, if you want to date, that's perfectly fine too. If you're 13, 14, 15, whatever you want to date, that's good too. But like Jaclyn said, she doesn't feel like, you know, she wants to do that now. And so, yeah. So everything's good. So
Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And sorry if like the lens was like glaring, like we have like windows around us, so the sun is like going down, and yeah, so that's why. But yeah, we hope you guys liked my mom's story. And it was really fun. So.
And remember, kids, don't be disappointed if dates don't work out when you're younger, because it takes a long time to find the right person. It really does. And for me, it was worth the wait, because her dad's really great now. I mean, well, he always was. I didn't mean to say now.
Now, yeah.
I mean, he was great when I.
He's always
great when I met him. And our anniversary's coming up too, you guys, in September. Oh wait, it is September this month.
Oh my God! Yeah,
this month our anniversary. I've been married. Celebrate good times. Come on. Oh yeah. Do you remember the 21st night of September? All right. But anyway, so this month is my anniversary, and we will be married 27 years. So see, it was worth the wait.
Good job.
I actually that story's true when they say you have to kiss a lot of frogs before you meet your prince.
Oh yeah.
Well, except I didn't kiss these guys.
Oh yeah, you didn't. But
yeah. But all right, guys. So don't forget to like this video. Hopefully you like it, and to subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. And yeah, that's it. So we will see you soon for episode 2.
Bye, guys.